Do you have a Viva?
We could do a Viva. So Chris, being new to the Viva format, we're just going to present a hypothetical scenario, and we might just get some responses from how you might respond to it. So in this hypothetical scenario, you're a senior registrar, say a female registrar. We might use gender as the issue to debate in this particular Viva. And a senior specialist from your college makes a comment that the problem with medicine is that there's too many women because of their need to leave work roles to have families and children, and says that in a public forum. How might you respond to that? And we can use the issue of gender as a placeholder for any particular kind of discrimination, really.
Sorry, they're a senior and
Yeah, so I guess the issues in this particular Viva are you're someone who's a junior specialist and you're having someone influential and senior to you make a very public comment that's discriminatory in nature. How do you respond to it on the spot?
You were stunned again.
That's
it. That's my go-to.
That's exactly right.
I think you can start by saying, I think that's an important point, and I think it needs to be explored more. And that you can only change what you can, but you think maybe someone could do a presentation on that topic, for example, or something we could be discussed in a team forum. Might be one way of addressing it.
Yeah. Nada?
So I would work very hard to hold my tongue to say, so that I don't blurt out what I really think. But ultimately, I would think, I would challenge that, and I say, I'm interested to hear that you think absence from the workforce is a problem. Would you perceive that to be the case for people who took it for, let's say, a cancer diagnosis, a sabbatical for professional development, or leave for other purposes? Is it the issue that it's looking after children, or is the issue the absence? Because many senior clinicians take time off to pursue other goals.
Yeah. As a woman who has heard this sort of argument a number of times and gone home thinking about what I should have said, I think, now I feel confident enough to say, look, half the medical schools, women. Why should women change their life aspirations to suit this line of work? Why can't the job accommodate for half of their population? That would be my answer. This is often what I think about anyway, because if half the workforce is women, why do the women have to do all the adapting? I don't quite understand. I think rather than thinking the women are taking away their jobs, we are the half of the jobs. So why don't you create some new systems to accommodate our needs? Because we're your colleagues. I could be your daughter, I could be your granddaughter. Is that what you would be saying to your family? I'm sure the situation would be different if it was one of your own.
Yeah, I think with any conflict situation that I have, whether it's in medicine or not, I think the answer is to try and find a shared goal, really. And I think even with someone that has a completely different viewpoint to yours, that clinician that thinks that, women are the problem with the workforce, you can find a shared goal where it works for everyone, where actually the job is really establishing what their goal is, which they can't disagree that it's the well-being of their patients, and that we can achieve well-being where everyone, women are participating in the workforce. Yeah.
And I think, people forget that it's not just half the workforce is female. Half the world is female. Half of our patients are female. In fact, probably more than half of our patients are female. Females are the majority in the population. And so, if you look at it that way, to service our patients, we need to represent our patients. We need to mirror our community for us to do a good job looking after them. And actually medicine in general as the workforce is not accommodating of women, but neither is the hospital or healthcare system, right? So there's a lot to be said for the science of developing better healthcare for the population that we're serving.
If there's one thing that COVID has shown us, it's shown us that we can adapt to different ways of working that are more family friendly.
Yeah, but also it's that patriarchal sort of way of thinking that you think that that's what patients want. Like patients all want male doctors who are available all the time, working 80 hours a week or whatever, without any family duties and whatnot. But is that what patients actually want? Do patients not like female doctors? And I don't think there's any evidence to show that. And actually, the evidence is the other way. And so, you know.
I think when you get these criticisms, it's because they're perceiving the role of the women within medicine from the old perspectives, from the old model. And so in a way, I suppose it's your role to shift the model so that being part-time or working, sharing family and work a lot more becomes something that the model, you were saying that earlier, you've got to change the model. The model has to now revolve around that. Because, you know, anecdotally, I've heard people say, clients say to me, that they're thinking of changing their GP because their GP is a woman and she only works 3 days a week. And so there's no continuity in their care. And I get that from their perspective, but that's because the old models, their expectations are still floating around. And so it's really that the model, the interpretation of what medicine is for the public generally and how doctors will work does need to change, I guess.
But also, don't you find that the modern men in medicine don't necessarily want to work like that generation either? They want to be at home. They want to be part of the family. They want to enjoy, they want to enjoy their lifestyle and have a bit of a work-life balance, and that is a priority. Not just climbing the ladder of the hierarchy of medicine.
You can still get highly skilled doctors without having to slave your guts out to get
Yeah.
No one ever worries about these old white male doctors taking time off to be in managerial roles, I'll say.
Yeah.
Or driving around Europe first for wine tasting.
Yes, that's right. What about their patients? Yeah.
Yes, you know.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I've got another. We can do another Viva. A really quick lightning one, because that was kind of on a serious note. So, a resident has been asked by a consultant, team consultant, to come to their house, to his house, for a dinner, and you can bring friends if you want to. So you hear the resident talking to other residents about this situation, wondering what the best way forward would be. How would you respond? As a friend, or registrar, or just in the tea room, if you were asked an opinion.
So are they different gender or?
Different gender.
I'm going to hit the buzzer and say, bring a friend. Yeah.
Grade that response. From make sure you take the friend to if you go and make sure you don't drink anything. That's inappropriate. You probably should talk to someone if you do take someone senior with you that you trust. So there's a variety of responses depending on the situation. But in general, if I was someone of any seniority or had any authority, and I would probably do that even if I was, just a registrar. I would probably say to the resident, you shouldn't accept that offer. And I would speak to the consultant and say, I think, that's probably inappropriate because, it's made a few people uncomfortable without disclosing who the people are. I think there's no way around that being inappropriate and damaging to both people in the long run. Nothing good can come of it. And so I think I would probably suggest to the senior person perhaps something more open and public and, collaborative or team effort thing. We should all go out to dinner somewhere like a nice restaurant or something if this was really intended to be, a team building exercise or something. So to try and diffuse the situation somehow for the resident in a non-confrontational way, if I thought that was really not a malicious intent situation. If it was malicious, I certainly would act on it.
Yeah, I think, maybe resident as well is key. So when you're a resident, you've maybe only had 6 weeks max knowing this consultant, and so you just don't have that rapport, that relationship. I've as a resident, I think I have been to a consultant's house in the setting of a whole team Christmas party, but only a couple of, maybe 1 or 2 occasions. And as a registrar, I've gone to a work dinner party at a consultant's house, but again, it's been, lots of other team members there, and you can bring your partner or a friend, and it's been quite nice, but it's been dependent on how well I knew that consultant and how long I'd been working with them, and all those all those qualifiers, as you say. But I think make sure I go with someone and never be in that awkward situation where you're on your own, no matter how well you know the consultant.
Yeah, I think it probably reflects that the consultant doesn't realize how high risk that scenario is on many levels. Yeah.
Or perhaps they do, Chris.
One never knows. But this is actually a true story. Happened to me when I was a house surgeon and intern. And I'd been on the general medical term for, 6 weeks, as you say. And this consultant invited me to his house. And he'd just gone through a divorce or something. And so I just didn't know what to do. And then I remember trying to write other people up to go together. And actually one of the registrars came up to me and was like, Dom, just don't go. And I said, I already said I was going to go. Oh. And he said, just say you're sick. You got diarrhea.
Very smart advice.
Yeah, and I think it was a really good example of how somebody a bit more senior can give you that courage to do the right thing.
You would feel so obligated as
the resident. And it was that evening as well. I was like busy trying to write other people up to go with me. And then I just texted the guy and said, I'm so sorry, I have diarrhea, I can't come tonight.
What a lifesaver.
Yeah, yeah. What a lifesaver indeed.
Telling it, it's them recognizing, their people are supervising, are putting themselves in risky situations and calling it out. So it's really the calling out what you do have, the ability to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Do the right thing.
Yeah. Do the right thing.
Pardon me, Lynn?
Schools, even though I know you're all over age, but there's really no difference. It's the hierarchical thing, isn't it? The senior, junior, and you just don't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. That was really fun today, yet again. Thank you, especially Chris, for joining us.
I think there's probably more we can talk about on this topic.
Oh,
we'll pick it up another time as well.
Yeah. We'll invite you again.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks everyone. See you next
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.